But first,
Good morning.
we are joined by the
are
owner
we?
of the Gloucester House, Lenny Linquata. How are you, Lenny?
Good to see you, Corey.
Thanks so much for spending time with us today.
That's my pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah. So, okay, there's big things that are going on here, right?
Here
so,
we are again.
Yeah, I guess let's talk about, so why all the change? You know, why did you want to change things up a bit? And then how are things progressing?
I guess necessity is the mother of invention, and I think that's where we are. COVID changed the rules of the game, and we had a giant facility, and it was time to do something different. And this is something we had been thinking about for a while. Inga just happened to be the person that we were fortunate enough to hook up with.
Yeah.
And this is great. She is fabulous. So how did I do it? Because the business was changing. And we're still here, and we expect to be here, and this is our community, and this is what we're going to do.
So for those who don't know, this business has been here for a long time. Do
Yeah,
you
we've
wanna
been here
give us-
since 1957.
And you want to give us a brief history of your family and this business and how it all went along?
Sure. My grandfather purchased the property in the 1950s, early 50s, when urban renewal was down. He needed a place to tie up his boats to do oil. And once he secured the wharf and they had cleaned up the property, they had to come up with a need for the property. So he asked my father if they wanted to go into the restaurant business. They went into the restaurant business.
This is
and
Michael.
My
Is your
father, Mike.
Yeah.
And he was, we were in the restaurant business. And
And what were
in
you serving?
19
Fish?
Oh, yeah. In 1957, we opened up in September 57, and off we go. We were, the story of the Gloucester House begins. We were this old building in the front where you are right now. The traditional picture that you see probably of the Gloucester House at the time, that's where we were. And we were doing pretty well. And it went on for about, I'd say about 17, 18 years, and then we had a major fire. That was a big fire with the old building center. The old building center was in there, and it caused us to change ideas again. So we changed, and we began to, once we demolished the property, we began to work on the outside part of the property, or the further end of the property, and it became the cafe. And once the cafe became, then it became Seven Seas Cafe, and then all the foolishness began outside on the bar area, and then we went back into the restaurant business after we gave up the foolishness for a while. And now we've run probably for about 20-odd years, 25 years or whatever, and it was time to change. And we're getting older, and our kids don't want to work the way we were working before. It's not that they don't work hard, it's just they don't want to do what we were doing.
Right.
Well, we want to hear
24/7.
about your kids, but are you going to tell the story of the calamari?
Calamari was an easy one. There's a lot of other good
Okay,
stories
all right.
there,
Well, tell a
too.
good story.
So we went back into the business, and once we got in it, we realized that things were beginning to change. Our population was changing, our demographics were changing, but ironically, all those foolish fun and games that we were doing through the 70s and the 80s and the early 90s, we created a tremendous amount of customer loyalty. And those 18-year-old kids, ultimately,
That was one of those.
those 18-year-old kids actually became older. And we got their christenings, and we got their rehearsal dinners, and we got their little functions, and eventually we ended up doing their mom and dad or the grandmother's collations. And we built quite a loyal clientele. And we were very fortunate, and it was just a fate. I've been very blessed. And who would have ever thought it would have played out like that, but that's how it played out.
Right. So now what components are being built out now? We have obviously the bakery up front. There's a
Okay.
gift shop, right?
So we're putting the gift shop in, but the intention with the gift shop is, as it stands right now, it's a gift shop, but it will eventually be a more marketplace where I'm going to bring in outside vendors, people up in town, over in Rockport, that have product that we're going to bring into our store, and we're going to sell it on commission. So we're going to sell their product on commission.
products we're talking
Nope, it'll be a variety from clothing to household goods to a whole bunch of different things. So it's really going to be a much more broad scope of items than we're dealing with right now. And ideally, once we're finished, we would like to have a whole prepared section, a food section down in here.
Yep.
And with the marketplace, we want to make it a destination. And looking at the way the dynamics of the community are going right now, there really isn't a specific location that you can say it's a destination for people to go visit.
There is not. You are right about that. And get a cup of coffee and a pastry and stroll and
And
meet
stroll
somebody
and do
just-
something and right.
Exactly.
And something for everybody. I mean, so we've been pretty lucky. Now that we have the Wicked Tuna boats, we're looking to put 2 more Wicked Tuna boats on this year, which would bring us to 4, which is great. And it's a tremendous draw because people love. They just love the show,
Yeah.
but they really like the personality of the skippers,
Yeah.
and they're all approachable. I can't tell you how many days we come down here, there are just people lined up just to get autographs and photos and stuff. It's great, so.
So it sounds like that's working for you. But how
Yes.
about the fishing industry in general? You've had to navigate that, I'm guessing.
Well, what a lot of people don't realize we do is we're wholesale lobster dealers also. So we've been pretty fortunate. In the off-season, we buy lobsters year-round. We have a couple of boats fishing us right now. But in the off-season, particularly November, December, and January, we really count on those offshore lobster boats to provide income for us to keep us going.
Oh, interesting.
So we're always moving product. I
Yeah.
mean, we don't move a lot of product right now. We probably move between 5,000 and 10,000 pounds a week. But we're a small operation. We're not a big operation.
Right.
So do you have a timeline for when all the other components will be ready?
by
I know,
the
first of all, the bar out back is gorgeous.
It is
It's coming out great. That's still a work in progress, too. We should be about another month or so doing some finishing touches there. We put some sound panels in and some more decorations. We want to get them in there. But we're about a month away on the bar. Even though we've been open, we're about a month away. Ideally, I'd like to have the marketplace up and operating by June,
Oh, yeah?
maybe May, so that people get an opportunity to take advantage of the summer,
That'd
and
be
then we'll
great.
just roll right into the winter at that point. Ideally, I had an illusion that I'd be able to do this before the holidays, and that wasn't going to happen. It just wasn't going to happen.
How about the Master Harbor Plan and, dare I say, climate change? Like, you're right on this harbor, and sea levels are rising. Do you think about that?
They do. When we built this facility, we've raised this facility up about 3 feet at the time. In retrospect, I probably wish that we had risen it maybe another 2 feet. But at 3 feet, we're in still pretty good shape. I mean, as I get older now, we see water on the dock all the time. All the time. When you see a flood tide, there is water on the dock all the time. But we're very lucky because of the elevation. We can actually go from the municipal parking lot right down into the building without having to deal with the water issues, which is great
Yeah, that's
at
good.
this point.
And are you part of that Master Harbor Plan?
I have been in the past. I'm not at the moment, but from time to time, because of my big mouth, I interject. I interject, or I'll let my point of view clear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so Lenny, before we leave, any plans for the holidays here? Anything happening here, or anything you're doing personally?
No,
Do you actually get to relax for a bit, or what?
No. Go. We do the bell ringing for the Salvation Army.
Yeah.
Over the last 5 years, we have raised over $130,000. All that money has stayed into this community. We are looking for bell ringers. It is getting harder and harder to get people to ring bells. If there is one thing that the Christmas season should do, it is the season for giving, and all we're asking is for people to give us an hour of time to ring bell. For those people less fortunate,
So if people are interested in doing that, how can they go about?
they can just call the Gloucester House. They can work it at their own time. We're only using one location right now. We're only using the Market Basket location. So if it just gives us an hour, we'd be delighted. Just get up in there and take your kids up and get involved in the community. For those of us that have, it is just much more fulfilling giving to those who have less. It is the time of the season.
Beautiful put.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
welcome.
Well, Lenny, congratulations
Thank you.
on the transformation here. And I know it's a work in progress.
Always.
We all are, but I mean, it's exciting to see. And I'm so happy that Cake Ann worked out, especially this well. We were talking to Anger for a little bit. Can't imagine what this place is going to be like come next spring and summer.
I'm delighted. It is rather exciting, though, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Very
Yeah.
cool.
Thank
Lenny
you.
Linquata, the owner of the Gloucester House, thanks so much for your time.
Thank
Happy
you, guys.
holidays.
Happy holidays to you.
All right, we'll catch up with you soon.
Thank you.
We'll have to come back again
Oh,
and show
please
off different
do.
parts of the property.
I sort of
here
thought this was
tomorrow.
I thought this was going to be a regular event.
Yeah, it can be.
See, every Friday. Yeah.
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Interested in a sponsorship? Email sponsor@1623studios.org to learn more.